um, around this size. Some are bigger. This would be probably a urinary stoma because it's a little bit smaller. We've lost our ostomy, our colostomy stoma. But when you're, what a stoma is that basically,
Stoma is an opening.
Drawing is not the best, but you have the kidneys, you have the ureters, you have the bladder, and then the urethra. So basically what they're doing is saying this bladder doesn't work anymore. And they're going to take the bladder out of the area. So what they do is take the small intestine, they take about a 6 or 8 inch loop of it. This is drawn much bigger than it would be. But they put the intestine back together. They close one end of this conduit, and then this end they bring to the outside of the body and flip it around and stitch it around, and it becomes the stoma. So this is where the body is here. All right, and then they have, again, the kidneys. This is not drawn well, but the ureters come off the kidneys and they drain into this conduit. And then the conduit drains the urine outside of the body. Okay, so that's basically what a stoma is. And again, it can be a stoma that drains urine, it could be a stoma that drains feces, either one. Inside of the body, and you need to have some type of an appliance to catch it. So what you have is got a number of different types of bags that can go on here. But you have some type of an appliance that sticks to the body. The back of these are called Caraya gum, and so I'll pass them around. And this one, Caraya gum. That's the sticky part. This one's not real sticky anymore because we've used it a lot. This one will be a lot stickier. And then you see that each of them has a graph on them so that they need to be cut, usually with just a very small type of scissors. They need to be cut to fit right around the stoma. Why would you not want this much skin around a stoma if this was draining either urine or feces?
Irritate the skin.
Yeah, it would hurt the skin, you'd get a wound. So these need to be cut so that they fit right exactly around the stoma. And let's see, burns. Yep, it'll burn the skin and it causes huge problems. So I'm going to look at this one, and then usually people are given some type of a scale. So it has all the different sizes and all the different styles on it. And you use this and say, okay, that's too big. That's even too big. That one is perfect. And so this one is a 22 millimeter. All right, so now on your scale, you're going to find a 22 millimeter. And this has 19 and 25. The other one have a 22. Nope. Okay, so we're going to have to cut just past the 19. You want to usually cut this as smooth as possible. This is kind of a rough cut right here. Okay, so ease that off a little bit with my finger. And then if I'm placing that on the stoma, that's a pretty good fit. Okay, it will fit around the stoma. It's not on the stoma, but it also does not allow urine to come into on contact with the skin. So then you have lots of different types of pouches that you can put on this. And most of them will have an appliance here. And this one doesn't fit that one, but it fits here. Is that the nice thing used to have to, when you had to change your pouch, you had to take the whole appliance off and change them. And now they have these nice disposable bags. You can leave the appliance on. It's stuck to the body, and you just change bags. So you hold the appliance in place, take the bag off. You have a chucks here so you can dispose of the bag, have the new bag ready, go ahead and put it on, and now you've changed. The appliances here usually stay on for 3 to 4 days at a time. And again, this would be something that the nurses would do that we don't usually do. However, sometimes some facilities will have NAs changing the bags. And this bag is actually for urine because it has an emptying device here. And again, it would empty either into the toilet or into a urinal. And then you would go ahead and close it and lock it up again. Okay? So basically a bag, each person has, these are so incredibly individualized, kind of like contacts, in that each person has the size that fits them. They have the procedure to get the bag stuck onto them. A lot of times people use adhesive before they put this onto the skin. You clean it, you wash it, rinse it, dry it, and then you put an adhesive around there, and then go ahead and put the appliance on. They're very individualized. Some people want a bag hanging straight down. Some people want it off to one side or the other. It depends very much on how they're wearing it, the contour of the body. For a person who has a very round body, sometimes these don't fit very well. For a person who's very, very skinny, sometimes these don't fit very well. But there are some people put the appliance on and then they put tape all the way around the appliance to help hold it in place. There are actual nurses that are stoma therapists that all they do is go around and visit people in hospitals and care centers in their homes and help with these types of appliances. So many people is like, I've got a bag, I can't do anything anymore. Yeah, you can. You can go swimming, you can exercise, you can go horseback riding, you can play tennis, you can do whatever you want. You just have to get the right appliance for your body and for what activity that you're doing. So a lot of people are horrified by them, and usually they get used to them fairly well. And once they've learned to manage it and with their lifestyle, then things go pretty smoothly. But an awful lot of people are like, I've got this thing hanging on me, it's disgusting. It's a change for sure. So this would be a bag that would be used for urine. And then these bags would be used if this was an ostomy for feces. So this bag is nice because it's closed. There's no way to drain it out. But this is also vented. You have a person with an ostomy, everybody passes gas, whether we want to admit it or not. And so for a person with an ostomy, a lot of times the stool is not as processed as regular elimination. It may be a lot more liquid. If the problem was cancer, and so they removed most of the large bowel, that was the problem. Now you've got this draining out of the small intestine, so the feces is very liquid. That's what the large bowel does, is to absorb water and form the stool. So now you've got feces that is very liquid. Sometimes it smells, sometimes it doesn't, depending on where in the small intestine they do it. But here you've got a venting system. It lets gas out so that this doesn't fill up with gas and pop out off and not collect the stool. People with certain types of colostomies or colonostomies have to do some dietary changes sometimes. Things like onions, garlic, things that normally would make you produce a lot of gas, beans, vegetables, that sort of thing, sometimes have to be adjusted. They also have drops, liquid drops that you can put into a bag either ahead of time before you change a bag or when you put a new bag on, that help with odor.
Courtesy
And
drops.
so, what's that?
Courtesy drops.
Yeah. So that when the bag, if you do have gas, the drops are in the bag, it helps take care of some of the odor before it gets vented. Because otherwise, you usually have some control over when you're passing gas, and you'll just sort of go away from a crowd or whatever and know that, yes, it's going to be a smelly discharge, and this will help take care of those types of things. Also, this is another type of bag that the bag stays on, but you go ahead and empty it into a toilet. Okay, and then when it's emptied, you rinse all that off and you put it back on your clip. And you clip it back up. You put it back on. Yeah. After you finish.
It's theirs, so yeah.
You rinse it out too.
Depends on the person. Some do, some don't. This bag does not have an area to rinse. There's no way you can get water into this to rinse it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So there again, you would have hand wipes or something that you would clean around the outside of the bag, clean a bit inside of the bag, so that it's okay when you put it this. You're not going to get it on clothes or have more smell. Okay. So these are things you can use. People use either again for urine or bowel, urine or feces, depending on what's happening. I'm not going to stick this one to the mannequin like I usually do, because again, things don't always come off of these mannequins, especially these because they're getting old. But a few minutes and we can people can take a better look at this kind of stuff. Questions about ostomies?
Yeah. Yes. Excuse me. The bag. Did you wash it? Can you? Does the nurse have to change it?
Depends on the facility. In our facility, the NAs can replace the bag, but the nurses have to replace it if it's taking the appliance.
Right.
Yeah. Some places will say, oh, nurses only. Some places will say NAs can do it. But then, again, if they say the NAs do it, they are responsible for providing you the training to make sure that you